today's show, we are talking to guests who literally wrote their next chapter in their hearts and on paper. And our next guest did it as the memorable Daryl Jenks, nicknamed the Prince of Soul Glow, in Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. And his powerful portrayal of the stubborn and serious Dr. Peter Benton on the acclaimed medical drama ER. Eriq La Salle's brilliance does not end with his iconic acting performances. Eriq has also produced and directed shows like Law and Order, CSI, and many episodes of Chicago PD. But most recently, he's been receiving very high praise for his storytelling off-screen as a fiction writer. And his devoted readers are on the edge of their seats as his latest book, Laws of Annihilation, from his captivating Martyr Maker series, comes out this week. Tam Fam joining us for an exclusive interview. Please welcome four-time Screen Actors Guild Award winner, three-time NAACP Image Award winner, Eriq La Salle! Oh, so good to see you again! Goodness, congratulations.
Thank you.
This series is epic, and I have so many questions. Okay, let's start with, as I said, this book, this show is writing your next chapter. You talk about growing up in Connecticut, your love of writing, your love of literature, and it even helped your brothers when their girlfriends, look at that cute little boy. When your brothers would get in trouble with their girlfriends, you would write love letters for them.
Yes.
Now, that's a weapon.
That was, yeah. And I did some for myself as well. So.
And so over the years, now here they come asking for love poems. It's fascinating with such a brilliant acting resume, director, and all of these accolades. In that world, your passion was always writing. Mm-hmm. It's like acting became a default. Successful thing to do.
Well, I mean, you know, I was writing at 8 years old. I mean, as much as you write at 8 years old, but I was writing poetry.
Do you remember your first poem?
I have a collection of, I mean, you remember the old notebooks with the rings? And,
of course,
I mean, it's like the paper's yellow, but I've saved some. But, you know, I wanted to write a play for my drama class, and then they were like, no, we need you to audition. So at 14, I auditioned. That's when the acting bug took over. But then it was interesting because then once I became a director and I started writing short films, I just rediscovered that love. So it was years, decades later.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how the universe sort of brings you back to where your passion is.
It's interesting you say that the universe brings you back, but also it pushes you forward because you needed a certain type of resilience. Even though you were this huge name in TV and in Hollywood, you started pitching this idea of this thriller series,
right? And
you received multiple no's.
Multiple.
You
know about this?
Oh, I know.
Here's the thing. People think that, oh, well, if you have any, and I hate using this word, it always makes me, if you have any type of celebrity,
right,
that is automatically going to guarantee you a certain success. So, you know, you're an author. We were out there hustling. Sometimes that works against you.
Yeah.
Because they feel, well, this is just going to be one of those fluff things.
Like it's a vanity project.
It's a vanity project, and so so I was turned down. I was turned down by multiple times by each publishing house.
My note said something like 14 times, but who's counting?
No, yeah,
multiple times.
Multiple times.
And part of the trick bag of this is that, and I have Laws of Annihilation here, but Steve Van Patten, who is our stage director, he's got his book, which we featured on the show, and I've written this series, this crime thriller series. The reason why I'm holding these up, because obviously I want my book next to yours, but but so many publishers told me something. Black people don't read thrillers.
Yeah.
Black people are not going to support the book. And I was like, first of all, this is a character who happens to be black. So it's a good book, I hope.
Exactly.
And she identifies with my community, who we are, but anybody should be able to pick up a good book. But there was a certain thing in the tone about black people don't read thrillers that really upset me.
Yeah, no, I mean, you think about it, you look at someone like Octavia Butler, who African-American woman who did sci-fi. So can you imagine the type of, so, you know, we are in a minority of African-American authors. I'm in this group called Crime Writers of Color.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, S.A. Cosby's in it.
Who's been a guest on our show.
Who was a guest on, and so it's a support thing. But there's a huge audience for it. And the publishing world really needs to wake up, because the funny thing is, you get out here, you try to sell these books, they don't want you, and then all of a sudden, when you finally get it done, people, it's a
everybody
success.
wants to take credit.
Everybody wants to take credit. And you're like, where were you when you know what I mean? So
I shout out to my publisher. They told me that Jordan Manning character was the only black protagonist written by a black woman that was solving crime that they could find.
Really?
That it's not a character by a black journalist that had been written. And I was like, wait a minute. And so to your point, I'm so happy that you did not take no, that you kept going. And coming up, we're going to open up some books and read some pages and a sneak peek into Eriq La Salle's thriller series. But before we get into the drama here, here's a funny video of Eriq trying to figure out which book is a cake. Take a look. We'll be right back.
Macklin, Kavanaugh, and Fee are back, and that can only mean one thing. There's a serial killer loose in New York City.
I did a little sneaky peek and read the prologue, and why you do us like that? Why, Eriq, did you hit us with the from the jump?
If you are looking for a murder mystery and thriller that is going to keep you on edge, Laws of Annihilation and the Martyr Maker series is going to be perfect for you.
Those were some TikTok fans of our guest Eriq La Salle, who we always, of course, remember as Dr. Peter Benton, the hardworking, life-saving surgeon on ER. But his next chapter was beautifully written as a prolific fiction author. Eriq's new book, Laws of Annihilation, out this week. You saw your fans there. You got us on the edge of our seats here. Martyr Maker series, you follow 2 NYPD detectives and 1 FBI agent as they chase a prolific serial killer. The book largely centers around, as we heard, Janet Macklin, FBI agent. I want to read this. She just found out she has months to live, and she tries to solve the crime before her own clock runs out. This woman's grabbing her chest. It's going to be okay for Janet. I promise. It says, here, this is a character description. From the time she was a child, Agent Macklin had grand dreams of becoming the first female director of the FBI. She entered the bureau knowing that as a woman, she'd have to run faster, jump higher than every male counterpart just to be considered half equal.
Yes.
I mean, you rip pages from the lives of our audience.
Well, I think also, something that's really interesting is in the first chapter, she has BRCA as well. So she's a Jewish FBI agent and half Jewish, and so she's diagnosed, and she basically has 4 months to live, or they say she has 4 months to live, and she's presented with the biggest case of her life, and it deals a lot with anti-Semitic crimes, hate crimes, the Jewish community versus the black community, and obviously these white supremacists are pitting them against each other. And so she's dealing with all of this after being given the diagnosis that she has 4 months to live. So that's the interesting part of, like, this character is driven, and she's like, if this case kills me, I'm solving this case before I die.
Oh my God. Listen. I love it. It is so awesome. And to think a young Connecticut boy writing love poems for his brothers ended up here. Laws of Annihilation out right now. Prove the naysayers wrong. Go out and support this book. Support authors that are bringing different voices into the horizon. And guess what? Audience, you are taking home a copy.
You got it.